Hello everybody, and today we're going to take another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a second look at Serenity Valley. I did a first video on this when we had version 2.0 of the map. We now have version 4.0. This is supposed to be the final version of the map from the map author. So I found this map up on modhoster.com, and let me read you the description that the map author put up there. It says, "Hello folks, with 4.0 you will see 38 fields, which you own 17, so you'll have plenty to do from the start. I have added a train system and all gold nuggets too. In the main farm silo you can store wheat, barley, rape, maize, sunflower, soybean, potato, sugar beet, grass windrow, dry grass windrow, wood chips, straw, forage, and silage, with a capacity of 200,000 liters for each. There is a small area of forestry as well. There are cows, pigs, sheep, and chickens. I have tested the map and everything seems to be working well with no errors in the log. This is the final version of the map. If someone finds anything wrong that I missed, I'll be happy to look into it. Thanks, and hope you enjoy." Changes in 4.0. 4.0 has more selling places, and I customized the station names to conform more with the map. With the trains, there are now 2 engines on each, which gives more versatile access of loading and unloading. All the door and gates are tuned to work with animated gate objects for easy access. The traffic will now obey the rules of the railroad crossings instead of driving through them. All of the farm equipment is now like new when you start the game. So let's take a look at the map. So as I do with my first impression videos, we're going to pick our John Deere Gator. You can ignore these 2 warning messages. They relate to mods that we have not activated. This download is a fairly sizable download, being it's a gigabyte in size. So I will just give you all that little bit of warning. This is not a small download. So it looks like the log is fairly clean, other than the 2 warning messages that relate to mods that I have that are not activated for this map video. So here we are. We start in our driveway, right outside our front door. Let's take a look at the map. So here we have the 38 fields. Looks like we own, as the map author said, 17 of those, which include fields 1, 2, 9, 19, 11, 12, 18, 20, 36, 16, 17, 15, 14, 23, 21, 22, 25, and 24. Oops, and we have 33 way over here off to the side. So we definitely have quite a bit of real estate to work with as far as our farmland. It looks like our forestry area is down here south, split up into 2 sections. So we have our standard crop types, nothing new there. We have several sell points. One which is appears to be accessible by railroad only. We have renamed pretty much all of our sell points. Fabric City, which is basically the spinnery, takes our wool. I do these first impression videos on hard mode, so there are 0 crops in the silos when you start out with hard mode. I assume that when you start on easier modes, normal or easy, You start with some level of crops. As the author said, we start out with fairly new equipment, and we start out with a fairly large list of equipment. We'll look at that here in a bit. I'm going to take out a loan so that we can afford some animals. When we get to those various areas, we can buy animals and take a look at them. We start with 0 animals, 0 items in the feed troughs areas. And as the author mentioned in the description, our silos do have a storage capacity of 200,000 liters per crop. So the description also mentioned that there were gold nuggets. Should we run across 10 of the gold nuggets during our first impressions video, we will then fire up and do a gold nugget hunt video. So let's take a look at our starting equipment. So we start with several Deutz Fahr Series 7 tractors and Series 9 tractors. Let's see if they're all the same. Okay, they are different configurations. We have tractors from 336 horsepower down to 263 horsepower. So we start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 tractors from the start, 2 front loader arms, a bale fork and a pallet fork, 4 semi-trailer trucks, all the same, 2 large New Holland harvesters with a large corn and sunflower header and a large grain header, the big Sugarbeet harvester, a potato harvester. So we have everything we need to harvest all of the crops in the game right here, minus wood chips from poplar, but we haven't got through our list yet. 4 tippers, 2 large and 2 extra large. We have a large cultivator and a large planter. We have the self-propelled sprayer, some weights, some mowers, windrower, the large forage wagon. So we have large equipment on this map. We have a baler, bale pickup wagon, handy dandy pickup truck. We have our animal trailer, lumber trailer. We have the small tree harvester, and we have the large tree harvester, and then we have the buffalo for bringing the logs kind of out to a more central location. So we have everything we need to do other than plant poplar and harvest poplar, which I don't know how popular poplar is, but about that's the only thing you're going to really be needing to buy, unless you just don't like the Deutz Fahr green and you prefer some other brand. So let's take a look around our starting farm. So here we have our chickens. Looks like we have a nice information board up there on our silo, black and green background, so you should definitely be able to see that from a distance. We have a fairly large and open courtyard for our farm. Here we have 1 nugget. A little bit of grass here in this shed. But I did a little stint just trying to do a map authoring job, and I quickly realized that I did not have the artistic talent to make my visions a reality. and I understand how difficult it is to make sure that we don't have, grass coming through various areas. So it's not a hit on the map at all, just an observation. Um, I'm not sure if I can get in there. Oh, you gotta get skinny. That one's tricky. So here we have a wash center. All you need to do is provide yourself a high pressure washer. Here we have our massive information board. It appears that we've got stuff in here that we can't store. So it's available should you wish to expand and customize this map a bit. There we have a dump for our silo system. I like that it's covered. And then here we have our out is somewhere. Our out is inside. I think that's where our output was for our first time I looked at this thing. I have to apologize. I've looked at so many maps since the last time I looked at this map. This might be a second video, but trust me, this is like I'm looking at the map all over again for the first time. So it looks like we have seed here. Yes, so we have a seed fill point here. I'm opening all these gates by just clicking the mouse button. Here we have our potato and sugar beet harvesters in this large storage shed. We have our corn header. Third nugget. Now, yeah, I am not short. I'm not squatched down, but that door handle, whew, it is way up there. Anyway, here we have our harvester in this storage shed. We have our grain header way over here. So here we have another fill point for seed and looks like solid fertilizer based on the items. It's hard to tell, just other than that there's a hitbox there to know exactly what is being filled there, but it would lead you to believe that there was seed and fertilizer there. A nice empty storage shed for should you buy additional equipment beyond the what was it, 9 tractors that you start out with. A nice little corner there where you could stick a small placeable of some sort, or you could just store some large bit of equipment over there. click in this shed? No, I did not. So here we have a shed. I remember this shed from the first time. It's kind of an older style shed from the stance that we have, just a dirt floor. We got grass growing up through the floor, you know, where it can get some sunlight. So here we have water, or liquid fertilizer. I've seen this tank used for liquid fertilizer, even though the sticker says H2O, so I'm not sure which one that might be. Definitely has a fill point associated with it, I think. Yes, definitely has a fill point. So here we have some of our tractors. Some Series 7s, Series 9s, some of our starting equipment, fuel point, so we have a repair shop on the farm to do customizations. And across the way we have our hay barn for selling of hay, straw, and grass. Nugget. We have our other tractors and our liquid sprayer. Okay, well that is almost the whole farm. I think we have another building up past this door that we didn't look at. We'll go in there. We have another very large open storage bay. All the doors are animated and work. All the big doors. I like this building has a, I don't think that's a switch, I think it's, oh, it is a light switch, it's just way low. I thought it was a, there we are opening, lighting our outside light. I thought that was a power outlet, but it's a light switch. So here we have 3 of our 4 semi-trucks with trailers already attached, or at least already parked to be attached. We're halfway to our nugget hunt quota. So that is our main farm area. Here we have another fuel point. I like this fuel point because it's up, the tanks are elevated. There's a nice light that I assume lights up at night. Here we have one of our pumps that's been opened. Maybe it's not quite working right, so we're working on that one. So that is our main farm. We didn't buy our little gator yet. Let's go in here and buy our handy dandy little gator for the purpose of our map tour. Alright, let's see here. The shop, here's our gator. Down here, I suppose. Let's reset our gator and see what happens. So our reset point is back at the shop. So if we reset our equipment, it will reset back to the shop, back here on this pad. We have a cook machine. We have a sale going on. Maybe these tires are for sale. The shop looks very nice. Has nice advertisement brands. Nice signage, decoration. Here's a repair customization bay. So it looks like you park in there and then you have to come in here. Then all these doors seem to be working. So there's the icon. I didn't see it when I came through the door. Serenity Valley Tractor Supply. Nice wide open yard for equipment purchasing. Alright, so let's take a look. Guess we'll come up here. We'll go up by Field 11 and drop by Big T Agribusiness. And then we'll swing up. We'll swing over to do the animals. They all seem to be in a central location just east of the farm. And then we'll swing back around to Serenity Valley Grain biogas plant, and we'll finish our look down here at the south, where it looks like most of the sell points are located. So we did see traffic is on the map. Big old agriculture advertising sign for our business. I like that. It's a nice, nice touch. So this is Big T Agribusiness. Easy turn in to dump, easy output here. Okay. So we own this field off to our right, which is field 11. This is the main entrance to our farm here. This is welcome to Serenity Valley. We have a very fancy entryway into our farm. This is a farm that is based or modeled to be a U.S. style farm. Just looking for a way east. We got a little bit of a rough road here. Alright. So I know we could have took a dirt road just south of the farm, but I did want to kind of drive through and see our entry point. There's some nice high power lines running here, parallel to our farm. And our animals are down here. So I remember that horseshoe looking, wrong way. I Remember that horseshoe looking thing is around our cattle area. So we also own this field, that is field 12. So we're right here, we might as well go to our pig and sheep area. The road narrows up quite a bit. I have some additional equipment over here. This is where we buy our sheep. Got some large rocks that we couldn't clear. That's nice. Nice touch. So the sheep have this nice barn to come in, and here's our food and water troughs. Our gate works. I think the first time I looked at this video, I think these doors didn't work. You could just walk through them, and they didn't seem to click open and closed. I think that was this map. So it's nice to see that that's been corrected. So overall, we have a decent sheep grazing area. We have this nice enclosure for sheep to get out of the weather when it's bad weather, and to eat kind of when under the shade. So here we have some more of our starting equipment. Looks like we have most of our grass equipment over here. We have our mowers, a couple tractors, forage wagon, windrower, baler, and bale wagon. Here we have our slurry for our pigs. Here we have our buy point for our pigs. Nicely marked with our zone markers here. They're a little hard to see with the grass, but you can see them. Assume this gate works. Yes. So our pig area has got this nice little recess. You can imagine that this would fill up with water after a nice hard rain. Give them a nice little muddy area. So we have our feed trough in here, so we have to come in here to feed our pigs. Let's see where our water is. Our water may be in this building. So we have our water trough here. Nugget. So we have to come in the building to water, but we have to go into the pen to feed our piggies. Let's close this gate so none of them escape. And it looks like our solid manure is over here. Yeah, so here's our solid manure pit. This is where we would blow our straw or drop our straw in for the pigs. Okay. Let's run back here and pick up our gator. And check out the cow area. So it looks like we have traffic on lots of the roads, versus some maps that seem to just have traffic on one or two different main roads. So far the gates all seem to open in a logical direction. Here's where we buy our cows. The cows have a very large pasture area here. And is this a water? Is this water up here? Yes. So, not quite lined up with our nav mesh here on our cattle area. They kind of are walking over the water, but all in all, this is a nice area. Not sure if we can obtain our water from here. That would be something that you might want to check out. If you can back your trailer into here and get your water. So here we have a grass trough. Looks like our solid manure and our slurry are in here in the cattle pen, so we'll have to come in here to clean things out. Here we have our feed trough for our silage, hay, grass, our TMR, power food. Nice storage under here for anything that we want to put here, like our mixer, power food mixer. Assume this is where we put our straw. Assume we bring our straw into here. I'm not seeing a trigger for it. Maybe we put that over here with our food. I'm looking for our watering water location, but I don't see that quite yet. Here it is. So here's our water, and our grass feed trough is over here by this other lamp post. So these lamp posts will help you designate where these troughs are in the animal pen area, since the grass is kind of high. So in addition to our cattle area, we have a nice long shed that we can park items in. With lighting. So this particular building is designed for tipping crops into. That's what these fans are for, to provide ventilation if you would tip crops into. But you can also use this building just to store equipment or anything else that you should so wish. Here we have a very large three-sided silage pit for our cattle silage. We also have a fairly decent area here to drive through and possibly to put something down. I know in my gameplays I typically don't use the silage pits. Some maps I actually delete the silage pit and I use a fermenting silo instead for my silage. But there's plenty of room on this area that you could drop, you know, a placeable over here for your TMR mixer, or forage one of those forage machines that makes forage if you don't want to do mixing. Let's try to find a gate out of here. Alright, let's go down and around and kind of the outside of the map here. A little bit of windy road. Here we have one of our train crossings. That's a... I was getting a railroad line confused with a road. So when I saw these lines here that go off to the right and then one goes up and around, that's one of these railroad lines. I was thinking it was a drivable road. So we'll just go this way. Past our animal area. Overall, all three animal areas seem to be well laid out, very clean, very organized. Plenty of space, as I said, to put other things in there should you so wish, like a pig food machine, forage making machine, a silage silo. Let's check out these field prices and see if there are emissions. So we do have emissions on the map. Field prices are pretty normal. 0.75 hectares at $643,000. That's what I expect. Almost 10 hectares, $800,000. So field 7 and 8, where field 7 is almost 10 hectares in size, gives you kind of an idea of how big some of these other fields are. Like field 32 must be massive. We'll take a look at that once we get around to it. Let's see if these hedges have collisions on them. Okay, we can drive straight through those. So here we have a train transfer station to transfer our grain on and off the train. And we can also store crops in here should we so wish. But of course, with a silo capacity of 2 million liters, I don't really see where we're going to need to store crops somewhere else other than strategically to have crops around the map, so that you're not driving all over the place. So we do have some pedestrians. I see one walking up there by the train station. So I would have maybe have extended this road out as opposed to having it grass there, because obviously if that's a drive-through point, you would probably have at least have some dirt tire tracks there where people have driven. So this map seems to be Serenity Valley seems to be a Coke company, or a Coke town. Another Coke machine there. So let's check out the size of these fields. These are fields 10 and 28. They basically run the whole north side of the map. 9 hectares for looks like potatoes. $14.5 hectares, 1.18 million for field 28. Wow. If you don't like gates, you probably won't like this map. But of course, there's no reason you can't just open the gates the first time you go through them and just leave them open. That's typically what I do. I typically don't mess with opening and closing gates constantly. I'll open a gate the first time I come across one, and I'll just leave it open. So we have a couple smaller fields off here to the side. All the roads seem to have nice lighting, so this map should light up pretty nice at night. Their field 28 goes up. Just drive through here real quick. Field 28 has some elevation there as the railroad cuts through a hillside. Nice varying terrain. Things aren't just all flat on the map. So here we have Serenity Valley grain. We're almost at our 10. So this is a nice sell point. You just come in, you loop around. I'm really not a huge fan of these up and overs where you come up a ramp. It just seems a bit awkward to do that, but other than that, it's a very nice sell point. Plenty of space to get in and out with your larger equipment, I think. Nice train bridge, elevated bridge here. Again, another nice landscaping geography element. I'm not really sure the right terms, but here we have another field that kind of goes up on a rise. So you have a low corner and you have a high corner. The whole field's kind of on a hill. Here we have what looks to be a residential area with people walking. Paying no attention to if someone's driving, though. You'd think they'd obey the crosswalks. We even have crosswalks. Nice touch to the map to have this residential area. So it's not all farmland and forestry. So we have here fields 34, which is a fairly large field, and field 32, which is massive. Field 32 is this field over here. We'll try to see how big that one is once we get done with our biogas plant. Up and over our scales. So there we have our digestate clearly marked. We have our large silage bunkers. We have our silo king. So it's a fairly standard FS17 BGA. So let's go check out what field 32 here costs and how big it is. $29.4 hectares, 2.3 million for this massive field of potatoes. Oh my goodness. When harvest time comes, you're going to be working this field for many hours should you decide to do that mission. But you'll also get quite the reward. So we've already checked out the shop, so we can skip that. We will jump back in our gator and head down south. Check this area out down here that's not marked. Hit these sell points. Looks like we have another residential area here. We've got something here, and we'll check this out here. This what looks like just a dirt area. Might just be a staging area for crop work. And then we'll jump in some trains, and then we'll call our view done. So Serenity Valley seems to be surrounded by mountains, as one would expect with the name Valley. Got some pretty high mountains with some snow tops there. So overall, it's a very attractive map to look at. It's not all flat, but we definitely have some flat to work with as far as fields go. As far as being able to put placeables down, you've got plenty of flat area around the farm and around the map itself to put placeables should you so wish. The fields seem to have a decent amount of grass around them for the purpose of not needing large headlands, and also for not needing or for being able to just do some free grass. Alright, so here we have just a kind of a peaceful Serenity area that you can come and have your little lunch, have a cookout at one of these gazebos. Get lost and not know where the bridge is. So it looks like we have another farm down here. Another silo. Appears to be a working silo. So it looks like you'll be able to tip product in there as well, should you be farming on this side of the map. A nice storage sheds to store harvesters and other field work tractors and materials for your southern farming operations. And we even have a couple silage bunkers here. Well, check this out. This is like a gate of some sort. It does. It opens up onto a ramp that takes us down to this water. So this appears to be maybe a free water area that we can drive down into. Maybe at some point we'll have some mods for some boats that we can back a trailer down here and drop a boat. That would be cool. So we have seed, and that's probably liquid fertilizer. More storage sheds, working lights. I think the scale on this building is a bit off, because that was the kind of door that was at the other farm that I made mention that the handle was, you know, I'm not squatted at all. I'm standing normal height, and this appears to be like a 30-foot door or a 20-foot door. So here we have some of our forestry equipment's been parked and staged down here. We have our 2 tree harvesters. We have our buffalo. We have a semi and our log trailer. So the map author seems to want you to use this area as a staging for your forestry, which makes sense because the forestry area is right there below Homestead Farms and Serenity Valley Millworks. But you could also use this as a staging area for your Field 33, and should you go and buy some of these other fields, you could definitely, looks like you could definitely use this area to stage your equipment and possibly store your crops. A nice bumpy road here. The author took some time to put some varying bumps and dips in this road as opposed to just having a flat dirt road. So that is the train only sell point. We'll go check that out. Drive along the rails here. So here's a little placeable area that you could possibly put something, should you so wish. We have, oh, don't get stuck. There we go. We've got some water there. Nice water feature. And here's our tip only for our railroad. Oh. We just drove through that tree by accident. So here is our 10th gold nugget. So we will be following this video up a little bit later with a nugget hunt video to discover all 100 nuggets. Here we have another tip point. This also is where we can sell our eggs. Looks like we also can sell our solid manure here. Let's see if this particular location also takes liquid manure, Homestead Farms. So this place only takes solid manure. Big agribusiness took slurry. thought I saw a slurry point up there, but I didn't mention it. So here we're coming up to another train transfer station to transfer our grain on and off trains. Gas station. So this is our animal buy point should we wish to pick up our animals and transport them back. We have a nice steel cow. We have our standard livestock market from FS17. Looks like we have a sawmill here. We have another sell point. Fairly straight tip in, tip out. To make a wide turn here to get out if we're going that way. Just took out that street sign, so you can take out road signs. So here we have our sawmill. This appears to be a functioning crane. Oh, there's 11 nuggets. I did not want to pick that one up, but okay. So yeah, we have a functioning crane here. Should have a sell point for logs right here. This appears to be our log pond for backing and selling logs into the pond. There's some nice sawmill sounds. Our wood chips are over here. So it's the standard FS17 sawmill as far as the building goes. Alright, we have Battle Farms. We went through that one. That was the straight pull through that had the wide turn that you need to make. We have Fabric City, which is our spinnery right up here. Looks like our wool point is around the back. Looks like there's several ways to get to the back, but you need to come around the back of these retail buildings to sell your wool. Nice shopping district. And we have a bakery up here. That appears to be our other sell point. So I expect the tip is again around the back. Okay. There's our tip for the bakery. Kind of around the side, but nonetheless. Quick, let's get off the tracks. We have a really rough road here. This road could use some improvements. So that's a field. field 14. We own that field. We own the field that's coming up here, field 15. So we own that field there. And this appears to be a third farm area that we could stage equipment at. I'm not seeing a silo or anything. It just seems to be a fill point for seed, fertilizer, and some buildings that we can obviously make use of for our operations in these lower fields. Here's some forestry area. It's toward the edge of the map, so we don't know how far out that map will go. So I did mention I wanted to check this one area out up here by this one field. And then we'll just jump in the trains at this point. So all the fields are fairly squared in shape, so they should be fairly easy for AI. We have a varying size fields from fairly small to field 32, which is fairly massive. So again, it looks like we just have another staging area in here for equipment, seed, and liquid fertilizer. Possibly water. Yes, that looks to be water. And this is one of our mini fields that we own over here. Alright, so I'll give you that view of the map again so you can kind of see where the fields that we own are. They all seem to be, for the most part, in the east side of the map, with the exception of field 33, which is over in the far west. So let's jump in a train. Okay. And we'll just take the trains around the map to get kind of a higher view. And that will conclude our trip. So here we can see where we have two trains, engines, one on either side of the train. So basically you're going forward no matter which way you go, as opposed to kind of backing the train around the tracks. Here we have a train transfer station, so we can transfer product from one train to the next. Again, that train has two engines on it, one on either side. Here's our shop, our store, our massive billboard sign. Field 13 there, it looks to be one of the smaller fields on the map. We own both the fields before us, to the left and right of the trains here. We've got some high power lines running through some fields, so that would be some things to take note of when you're farming. Field 36 seems to be planted in grass. Here's our residential area. And then we come into our commercial shops. So the southern train line is fairly short. We own all of those fields there. Coming through our sawmill area, and this is where we started at. Let's jump to the other train. And this train goes around the north side of the field, or the map. So this is a longer train ride. Field 33 is also planted in grass, and that's a field that you own. There's that massive field 32. Field 34 is not small by its own right, but compared to field 32, it's a little baby field. So here we have field 4, which I'd commented was a nice landscaping done, because we start here low in the corner and kind of build up high. And we go over our train bridge. There's field 28, which has some rolling hills through it, so that ought to be a nice, interesting field to harvest and then plant. I know fields that seem to have these bumps in them sometimes are difficult to plant, because the planter wants to rise up and not plant the full, the full crop unless you kind of come at it from different angles. So we own that field there. It's got kind of the green texture. I'm not sure if that's sugar beets from this high up. Plenty of free grass around the map, but it looks like you also have grass in a few fields that you own at the start. Pig area off in the distance there. So we own all of these fields here, to the left and the right of us. And field 18 appears to be planted in grass. That would be a nice sheep field, because sheep don't take too much grass. Field 36 also is planted in grass. That's a field that we own. There's field 12 again. So now we're running along. We'll soon be coming up to our transfer station, which is where we started this particular train from. So that concludes our second look at Serenity Valley. This is version 4.0. This is supposed to be the final version. I do know that there was a version 3 that was also listed as final, but I don't see too many errors on the map that would really necessitate a a version 5 or 4.5. So I would say you would probably be safe in starting this map and feeling fairly confident that you were working with a version of the map that was not going to be modified. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until later, see you all later.